The best estimate that we can get right now is, between I think 5,000 and 8,000. There's a follow my Twitter feed because we are crunching the numbers constantly. It's hard to know an exact number. We are using educated numbers-based estimates because that number that they give, the max of 88 or 89,000, that's how many we know were sent out and have yet to be returned, but you can't predict human behavior. You don't know how many officially filled them out and did return them, same as you can't predict human behavior on how many people will follow through and cure their provisional ballots. So that's why it's so hard to know how many we have left to count, but there's a really good way of knowing this. If you look at this map, the orange counties show which counties have certified their results. And so the more orange there is on this map, the closer we are to getting final numbers.
So we have 32 out of 159 counties that have certified so far. On the low end, 7,000 ballots still outstanding. On the high end, 15,000 ballots still outstanding.
Yeah, that's right. So the Secretary of State has told 11 Alive that the state will likely head to a recount because of this razor-thin margin between former Vice President Joe Biden and President Trump. But right now, his office says there is no evidence of widespread irregularities. Let's head to Fulton County now, where Mara Sirianni is live at the state capitol with the latest.
That's right. The Secretary of State talking about those allegations of fraud. They're also hoping that all counties will go ahead and certify their results before that deadline, again, which is next Friday. And that way they can go ahead and move on to what is likely next, which would be a recount. So state elections officials, they're also talking, and you may have heard about this, about that audit, the risk limiting audit. Now, under a new state law, before certifying the presidential election winner, the audit would find anomalies from misconfigured machines, procedural errors, and even intentional manipulation. Top Republican officials threatened legal action in Georgia Friday, citing, quote, too many irregularities in counting ballots here. State officials said this audit will take a significant sample of ballots and examine them by hand to observe whether the declared winner is the actual winner.
We're going to go through our legal processes, which means we have to certify. And I do anticipate that there could potentially be lawsuits from both the Biden campaign and the Trump campaign, depending on where they are and what they're looking at, that a judge could order the counties or the state to do different specific things.
And we'll talk more about the Secretary of State's response to this in the next half hour. But again, you heard him say they're fully prepared from lawsuits on both sides here.
Yeah, we will have to wait, and many hoping to certify by Monday. A lot of people working through the weekend to make that happen even sooner. Thanks a lot, Mara.
Now to Gwinnett County, where another technical glitch halted the counting process. That county expecting to get back to counting those ballots later on this morning, just in about a half hour. Paolo Soro continuing our team coverage there outside the election office in Lawrenceville. So, Paolo, how many votes did they tabulate yesterday, and how many more do they have to get to today?
Yeah, well, so we'll get to that in a second, but, election officials were really hoping to publish a lot more numbers last night, but they weren't able to because, as you mentioned, another computer glitch. It's very similar to that computer glitch that they experienced late Tuesday night, and that affected more than 3,200 ballots. But today's focus will be also on provisional ballots. So workers were researching and examining those yesterday, so that's the video that you're seeing right now. After that, the Gwinnett County Elections Board has to decide which ones can be fixed and counted and which ones won't be included. That meeting was originally scheduled for Monday, but a spokesperson for Gwinnett County tells me they wanted to move that up to today to speed up the process because of how close this race has been. So as for results, Sheba posted yesterday, those included the 3,200 batches of ballots affected by Tuesday's software glitch, the absentee ballots received on Election Day, and more than 400 ballots affected by a corrupt memory card, as well as more than 1,000 military and overseas ballots. So what's left? Well, I'm told more than 500 cured ballots, 3 more military and overseas ballots, and almost 1,000 provisional ballots. Those are the ones that still need to be researched. So they have people staffed here to try and get all of that done as fast as possible. We spoke to a paper ballot processing monitor yesterday.
We have volunteers staffed through tomorrow, and I think even just in case the weekend. So however long it takes, we have people who are eager to oversee and help be a part of that process.
Now, I've seen election workers trickle in throughout the morning. I know they were expected to start work at 9 a.m. and I also know that they're supposed to have a technician on standby in case another glitch happens today.
Paolo, we're hearing that they should be wrapped up by things. At least they're hoping to have things wrapped up by late tomorrow. Is that still the case?
Yeah, we're about to check in as soon as they open at 9 a.m. and we're going to ask them those tough questions. I know that a spokesperson did tell me that they were hoping to do provisionals today, but originally it was scheduled for Monday, so it was hard to try and get everyone here from the Board of Elections to get all of that done today. So that's the hope, and we'll of course keep you guys updated.
The hope and the prayer. All right, Paolo, thank you. Where about 1,500 ballots still need to be processed in Gwinnett County. Now to Fulton County, where election officials say all early day of and absentee mail-in votes are counted. They're now strictly focused on those provisional, military, and overseas ballots. A batch of 5,000 coming in overnight and updated on the Secretary of State's website. But now the county is addressing a viral video falsely accusing an election worker of crumpling up a ballot and discarding it. Elections Chief Richard Barron calling the video, disparaging the worker as shameful. The crumpled paper, he says, was not a ballot, but an instruction sheet. The worker is now in hiding because he's getting threats after his personal information, even his license plate, was shared online.
Even once these results are in, Georgia will continue to stay in the national spotlight as the balance of power in the Senate could be left to Georgia voters to decide come January. Right now, there is an equal number of Republican and Democratic senators with just 4 seats still undecided. 2 of those will be decided here in Georgia. Our state, the only state this election to have 2 Senate seats up for grabs. Now we know both Georgia Senate races are now heading to runoffs. The Associated Press making it official late last night. Incumbent Republican Senator David Perdue and Democrat Jon Ossoff will be in a runoff January 5th. Ossoff, during a press conference yesterday, saying he is confident head-to-head he can beat Perdue in a runoff.
We're now seeing that change has come to Georgia. And Georgia is the heart of the change that's coming to America.
Senator Perdue said in a statement he is ready for the challenge. His campaign wrote, as votes continue to be counted, Senator David Perdue remains in first place with a commanding lead. That won't change. We are excited for overtime. On the same day, Republican Senator Kelly Loeffler will face Democratic candidate Raphael Warnock. The winner will serve the remainder of former Senator Johnny Isaacsen's term. Now, from the Senate to the House, Georgia's 7th congressional seat has flipped. The Associated Press called the race for Democrat Carolyn Bourdeaux. Look for more of our coverage of the 2020 election at 11alive.com. That is where you will find real-time results.
We're following some breaking news right now at 8:38. Gwinnett police investigating an officer-involved shooting. We're being told it happened on Bent Willow Drive. And police, the SWAT team, is involved. However, it is unclear if the suspect's status is unknown at this time. Not sure if they have one in custody or if any officers were injured. We will continue to stay on top of this breaking news story for you. As soon as we get more information, we will bring it to you. Let's turn it over to Tyler Malden now with a look at your weekend weather. People are eager to get out and take a break from the TV for a little bit in all of this election coverage.
Take a little detox, a little break from the TV and also social media too. We're looking really nice outside. This is a look over downtown Athens. You can see some of those November clouds up overhead, but those clouds are eroding away because we do have some drier air in place. But down to the south, we do have some humid air beginning to roll in, and that's making these temperatures feel a little warmer, a little more icky than it actually looks on the thermometer. 64 degrees at the moment here in Atlanta. And then as we go through the next few hours, you are going to see the cloud cover erode away. We'll see the sunshine. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s come this afternoon. A beautiful weekend on tap. We can cut and paste the same forecast today for tomorrow. So again, just a great weekend to get out and enjoy the area. Back to you.
All right. Take a breath and go outside. That'll make you feel better, I guarantee it. It's 8:39 on your Saturday morning. Coming up, we'll take a look at where the U.S. presidential race now stands as the world waits to see who will occupy the White House for the next 4 years. Welcome back. Let's take a look at how the presidential race is looking nationwide right now. Joe Biden up by about 4 million votes nationwide. Several states still in play, including ours here in Georgia. Those percentages are rounding up for Biden and down for Trump, so it's actually a good bit closer than it appears on that map. We'll break it down for you in just a few moments. But the nation and the world right now are waiting to see who will occupy the White House for the next 4 years. This is a live look as the counts continue across key battleground states. Now that the sun has risen, you can actually see the White House. The electoral count hasn't changed in more than 48 hours. Tracy Potts is live in Wilmington, Delaware, where the Biden campaign was hoping again last night for a victory rally, but Tracy, that's on hold.
Hi, Christy. Good morning, everyone. So this challenge is not always successful. You were just taking a live look at the White House. This holding pattern, this waiting game that we're in, is causing quite a bit of frustration for the president and excitement for the Biden campaign.
We're going to win this race with a clear majority with the nation behind us.
Democratic nominee Joe Biden poised for victory, but still urging patience.
Democracy works. Your vote will be counted.
Biden's bullish prediction that he'll win more than 300 electoral votes, with leads in Pennsylvania, Nevada, Arizona, and even traditionally red Georgia, now headed for a recount. President Trump, who last spoke Thursday,
if you count the legal votes, I easily win.
Increasingly defiant as the vote count continues, declaring on Twitter that Joe Biden should not wrongfully claim the office of the president. I could make that claim also. The Republican Party lost a Supreme Court bid to stop counting ballots in Pennsylvania.
Clearly that's failed. They've refused to intervene. And ultimately now those ballots are going to be counted.
But kept separate if they arrived after Election Day. Protests continue outside election offices and around the country. And there's defiance from Republicans.
The president's allegations of large-scale fraud and theft of the election are just not substantiated.
Multiple sources close to the White House tell NBC if Biden wins,
he intends to fight.
The president has no plans to immediately concede. So here's the reaction to that from a Biden spokesman saying, and I'm quoting here, the U.S. government is perfectly capable of escorting trespassers out of the White House. They're feeling pretty confident here, Christy.
Very strong language there. Thank you, Tracy. Ballot counting in the state of Michigan has been ruled fair. That is the latest from the state's Third Circuit Court. On Friday, the court denied a petition that would have required Detroit and Wayne County to retain all ballots and poll books. It would have also prevented election results in the county from being certified. A group called the Election Integrity Fund challenged election results earlier this week, alleging there was a shortage of bipartisan inspectors and misconduct with ballot handling, but a judge called those allegations mere speculation. It's 8:46 on your Saturday. Still ahead with false information lurking online. The Carter Center now urging Americans to think before they post. How the organization hopes to bring people together and build confidence in the election process. Welcome back on this Saturday morning. It is 8:48 and you're going to get plenty of sunshine today. It might be a good day with all of the election coverage. Maybe just go outside, take a walk.
Deep breath.
Yeah, take a deep breath, get outside and away from the TV and social media.
Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful day. Not only just a beautiful Saturday to do that, Chrissy, we're also going to see a beautiful Sunday too. So overall this weekend, fantastic. We have temperatures right now in the 50s and the 60s. This is above average for us, and the closer that air temperature is to the dew point temperature, you're going to get really humid air, because this is how we measure the moisture content in the atmosphere. So the closer those two temperatures are, the more humid it's going to be. And way down here to the south, we have some humid air rolling in thanks to high pressure that's right offshore. The high pressure is the reason why we will see the beautiful weather this weekend and the first half of next week, but it's also the reason why temperatures are going to be about 15 degrees above average, and why it's going to feel just unseasonably warm for us later on this afternoon. Take a look at this. Those temperatures get from the 50s and the 60s to the mid 70s come the afternoon. In fact, Dalton, you could be approaching 80 degrees later on today. Now, we do see the temperatures cool down overnight, but it's still going to be well above average for us. We are going to see a little bit of cloud cover. I doubt very seriously that we see any rainfall, though, at least for the next couple of days. We are going to see what was Hurricane Ada, push up through the Caribbean, impact Cuba, and then throw a lot of rainfall in the vicinity of South Florida. And notice the track here as it goes up into the Gulf of Mexico, it heads towards the panhandle of Florida. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because once we get into, I would say, midweek next week, this system here, this tropical system, is going to work with another weather maker, and that could potentially bring us some added rainfall. It'll help give us some of that moisture for added rainfall come next week. So the three things I want you to take away from this forecast: we've got above average temperatures arriving. Ada is taking aim for Florida, and it is going to work in concert with another weather maker to give us an increased chance for rainfall come next week. Let's summarize here. This weekend, beautiful. The wazometer will be around 8 to 9. Then on Monday, the same. We're going to see beautiful weather. And then Tuesday is our day of transition. Once we get to Veterans Day and the latter half of next week, that's when the showers and thunderstorms really arrive. So that's a look at your weather. We'll be back with more news and weather after the break.
Welcome back at 8:54. Think twice before potentially posting false information. That call coming from Atlanta's The Carter Center. Naima Abdullahi has more on the center's commitment to democracy.
This is the first U.S. presidential election the Carter Center is engaging in a formal way. The Carter Center was founded in 1982 by former President Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind in partnership with Emory University to promote human rights, conflict resolution, health, and democracy for all.
It's important for there to be open communication, open dialogue, and to focus on real facts and trusted information.
David Carroll, director of the Carter Center's democracy program, says the time is now, with tensions high and communities politically divided, to promote calmness both in the White House and in any house throughout the United States.
People are exposed to a lot more disinformation. Social media, while we have that great ability, anybody can connect to anybody about any issue, it really brings with it a lot of bad information.
The Carter Center has monitored elections in developing countries, and now here in the United States, the center has been working to build confidence in the election process by gathering public information and talking with election officials to address voter concerns.
The importance of transparency and clarity about basic information and about trusted sources in elections, and again, how that can reinforce a healthier dialogue.
David Carroll hopes the Carter Center can serve as a beacon of hope, the way it always has with Jimmy and Rosalind Carter's continued efforts to bring humanity together during tough times.
That does help differentiate the Carter Center from many other organizations, and that there is this much broader engagement on things that can really bring people together.
The Carter Center does not endorse specific candidates or pick political sides. It is a nonpartisan organization. They're just urging people to remain calm during this unprecedented election. And look for more of our coverage of the 2020 election online at 11alive.com. That's where you'll find real-time results. Joe Biden still leading in Georgia. Our election coverage continues in less than 3 minutes.
Live from Atlanta, 11 Alive Weekend Morning starts now.
Welcome back. It's 9 o'clock on your Saturday morning. Still no decision in the race for the White House. The vote count now entering its fourth full day.
If you're just waking up, Georgia is still blue on this Saturday morning. New numbers updated overnight showing Joe Biden expanding his lead over President Trump. At this time yesterday, Biden was ahead by over 1,000.
That has gone up considerably. Let's take a look at the results for the presidency here in Georgia. Joe Biden leading Donald Trump. It has been a long time since we've been able to say a Democrat has been leading a Republican in the state of Georgia. I have been tracking the numbers all week long, so let's take a closer look at the number of votes that separate these two. Here is the best recap of everything that happened overnight. Right now, Joe Biden leads Georgia by 7,248 votes. Finally updated, we were able to confirm independently around just before 5 o'clock this morning. This is how many votes we had come in overnight. More than 5,000 votes were counted and added to that total overnight. The majority of them, or more than 5,100 of them, coming from Fulton County right here. This county, definitely a more Democratic county. The other right here in Chatham County, also a blue county, more Democratic. Let's see. If we'd like to know the specifics right here, then 1,145 of those votes went to President Trump. 3,965 of the votes from Fulton County went to Joe Biden, and that is why his lead expanded so much overnight, Sheba.
Fulton County, our largest county here in Georgia. So what are the big counties we're looking for today for those votes to roll in?
That's Gwinnett, hands down. This one right here, right above Fulton County. That's the one that has several provisional ballots and military and overseas ballots that they still have to count. And because of a technical glitch, they had to stop. They were hoping to work through the night. They weren't able to do that. But, you know, we keep getting the question, how many votes are there left to count? It's a good question. The problem is it's really hard to answer. So let's take a look here. This map is probably the best visual representation we have of how many votes there are left to count. The orange counties here represent the counties that have certified their results. That means the counties have official final counts. Of course, the state will still have to certify all the results, but that means these counties are done. Like, they're done. Actually, and that number just changed. One more county officially certified their results this morning, bringing that total, let's see, to 35 out of our 159 county total in Georgia. So 35 counties are done. We're still waiting on the provisional. The thing to know about that, however, most of those votes from right here in Gwinnett. The other ones, mainly, nearly all of what's left are military, provisional, and cured ballots, and not even all of the ones that we expect or the number that we have, not all of those will be accepted. So
that's a positive sign there, Christy, because when we went on the air at 6 a.m. this morning, the number was at 32 counties that had certified their vote. And again, the deadline is this coming Friday out of 159 counties. So these, you know, these poll workers and election officials are working hard this week. We really got to salute them this week of all the work that they're doing.
It was actually 34, but one more has updated.
One more, okay. Yeah. All right, and on the low end, 7,000 ballots still left out there, and 15 could be as much as 15,000 ballots still need to be counted.
That is our best educated guess based in the numbers.
You are the numbers gal, you know.
We are crunching hard, we really are. The Secretary of State has told 11 Alive that the state will likely head to a recount because of this razor-thin margin here in Georgia. Joe Biden still ahead, but as long as it is within 0.5%, either candidate can ask for a recount. Right now, his office, however, says there is no evidence of widespread irregularities. So let's head to Fulton County, where Mara Sirianni is live at the state capitol with the very latest.
Well, the Secretary of State's office also wants all counties to go ahead and certify before the deadline, which is next Friday. And we just saw that happen right before your eyes there live in real time. So that's really good news. These counties are certifying. They're getting their results in. That is exactly what the Secretary of State's office is urging them to do and what they want them to do. And then so the next step from there would likely, again, be that recount. Now, state elections officials have also talked about conducting a risk limiting audit. We talk about fraud here. Now, under a new state law, before certifying the presidential
presidential election winner. The audit would find anomalies from misconfigured machines, procedural errors, and even intentional manipulation. Top Republican elections officials threatened legal action in Georgia Friday, citing, quote, too many irregularities in counting ballots here. Now, state officials have said this audit would take a significant sample of ballots in Georgia and examine them by hand to observe whether the declared winner is the actual winner.
Every one of these votes is important, and the job of the elections officials in this office is to assure that every single legal vote is counted and that the will of the voters of the state of Georgia is met on this very, very important election.
This is going to be a long process here. The Secretary of State's office says it does expect lawsuits from both sides.
Mara, thank you. Let's take you to Gwinnett County right now, where election workers were supposed to continue working into the early morning hours, but another technical glitch halted the process. Paolo Soro continues our team coverage live outside the election office in Lawrenceville. Election workers were supposed to start tabulating votes minutes ago. Has that begun?
Yeah, so not yet. We're about to head in there right as soon as we're done with this hit, but they are expecting to hopefully have some more numbers today. They were hoping to have numbers last night. They were hoping to publish those to the Secretary of State's website, but they had, as you mentioned, a computer glitch. That computer glitch, very similar to the one they experienced Tuesday night with the more than 3,200 ballots. But today, a lot of the work will be also centered around provisional ballots and really researching and examining those. After that, the Gwinnett County Board of Elections has to decide which ones can be counted. That meeting originally scheduled for Monday, but a spokesperson for Gwinnett County tells me they wanted to move that up today to speed up that process because of just how close this race has been. So there's still about 1,500 more ballots that need to be added. Those include cured ballots, military and overseas ballots, and provisional ballots that are being researched. So they have people staffed here to try and get all of that done. Now, I have mentioned earlier that we have seen election workers just walking in. They are expected to start, well, just a few minutes ago at 9, so we're about to check that out. I'm told they also have computer technicians here on staff today, but we also have to keep in mind that we weren't expecting results like the results we got last night through Sunday, and so they are working as fast as they possibly can, but they want to make sure that they're also being accurate.
Yeah, Gwinnett just keeps running into these technical glitches. Hopefully there's no more as they work through the weekend. Paolo, thank you so much. Christy, over to you.
Even once the results are in, Georgia will continue to stay in the national spotlight as the balance of power in the Senate could be left to Georgia voters to decide in January. Right now, there is an equal number of Republican and Democratic senators with just 4 seats still undecided. 2 of those here in Georgia, our state being the only state this election to have 2 Senate seats up for grabs. We know both Georgia Senate races are now headed to runoffs, the Associated Press making it official late last night. Incumbent Republican Senator David Perdue and Democrat Jon Ossoff will be in a runoff January 5th. Ossoff, during a press conference yesterday, saying he is confident head-to-head he can beat Perdue in a runoff.
We're now seeing that change has come to Georgia. And Georgia is the heart of the change that's coming to America.
Senator Perdue said in a statement he is ready for the challenge. His campaign wrote as votes continue to be counted. Senator David Perdue remains in first place with a commanding lead. That won't change. We are excited for overtime. On the same day, Republican Senator Kelly Loeffler will face Democratic challenger Raphael Warnock. The winner will serve the remainder of former Senator Johnny Isakson's term. The last time Georgia elected a Democrat to the Senate was 2 decades ago. Now from the Senate to the House, Georgia's 7th congressional seat has flipped. The Associated Press calling that race for Democrat Carolyn Bourdeaux. Look for more of our coverage on the 2020 election online at 11alive.com. That is where you will find real-time results.
We have some breaking news right now at 9:08. Gwinnett police investigating an officer-involved shooting. We're being told that it happened on Bent Willow Drive. That's in Lilburn, and the county SWAT team was involved. Very few details at this time. We do have a crew headed to the scene. They are just minutes away. As soon as we learn more information, we'll bring it to you live on air and online. Now over to Tyler with your Saturday morning weather. How's our weekend looking?
All right, weekend is looking pretty good. You can see a little bit of cloud cover out there, but some blue skies beginning to appear. Not too shabby. Temperatures are in the 50s and the 60s, but we will be warming up as we get later on into the afternoon. Those temperatures are really going to rebound nicely, about 15 degrees above average for us later on today. We do have high pressure sitting right offshore, and that high pressure is pumping in some humidity. So even though the temperatures on the thermometer may be reading a nice comfortable 50, 60 degree temperature, but it's feeling a little humid out there. Still looking great though to get outside and grill today and even tomorrow too. As you can see here, today's going to be beautiful, just a mixture of sun and clouds. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s, which again about 15 degrees above average for us. Then tomorrow we cut and paste the same forecast, partly cloudy, temperatures in the low to mid 70s, and just looking beautiful. That is look at your weekend weather. We'll be back after the break. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. You heard me talking about this weekend's weather and just how nice it's going to be. Well, leading the weather headlines for us this weekend and going on into the beginning of next week are the above average temperatures. We're talking about temperatures, unseasonably warm temperatures, 15 degrees above average, mid 70s for afternoon highs. But Ada is down to the south over the Caribbean, and it's taking aim for Florida. And what it's going to do come next week is it's going to help increase our rain chance by pulling up some moisture here into the southeast, Metro Atlanta, Tennessee Valley. We're going to see a little bit of moisture off of this system. Right now, what we're looking at is it's pushing over the Cayman Islands and encroaching on Cuba. What it's going to do from here is it goes over Cuba, it weakens a little bit, but then it comes within the vicinity of South Florida. It goes right over the Keys. South Florida is under a a tropical storm watch at the moment. And what happens is it's on the sloppy side. So when it's on the sloppy east side of the system, they're going to pick up tons of rainfall here, about a foot of rainfall. Then as it goes up the Gulf of Mexico, it goes for the panhandle of Florida, and it could lead to increased moisture for us to pull out some rainfall next week. I'll time it out for you coming up.
Now let's take a look at how the presidential race is looking nationwide. Joe Biden ahead by about 4 million popular votes nationwide. This race still very much in play. Several states still in question and have not yet been called. We will keep an eye on this. We had several votes get counted overnight here in Georgia. I will break that down for you in just a moment. The nation and the world right now waiting to see who will occupy the White House for the next 4 years. This is a live look as the count continues across key battleground states. Democrat Joe Biden poised for victory, pulling ahead in several key battleground states. But as the counting winds down, President Trump's legal challenges are ramping up. Tracy Potts is live in Wilmington, Delaware, with a national look at the drawn-out ballot count in several swing states. Good morning, Tracy.
Hi, Christy. Good morning, everyone. I can tell you here in Wilmington, things have been sort of hurry up and wait. The stage behind me has been set for a big celebration since last Tuesday. Yesterday, they thought could be the day. They uncovered some of the equipment. We saw them doing sound checks. We were told that Joe Biden was coming, which he did, but turns out not for a victory speech, more of a status update where he told people to continue to be patient because it was important to count every vote. He is quite bullish on how he thinks he will do in this race, now saying he thinks he will get well over 300 electoral votes. Only 270 are required to win the presidency. And so the Biden team waits, the president's waiting, and increasingly frustrated, tweeting that Joe Biden should not be wrongfully claiming the presidency. He has not. But here in Wilmington, they don't want to have a big event until we actually know. So vote counting, as you well know, still going on in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Nevada, and Arizona. In all of those states, Joe Biden has a lead, some bigger than others. And in all of those states, Christy, there are still votes to be counted.
Yeah, he's ahead by about 7,000 votes here, somewhere around 20,000 votes in those 3 other states. Everyone will be keeping an eye on that today. Thank you, Tracy. Coming up, an Atlanta family receives an unexpected treat on Halloween right in front of their home. This sweet gesture, trick-or-treaters left behind for a young child battling cancer.
Happy Saturday, everybody. If you pull out your phone right now and you look at the radar, you may see a little green just to the south of Atlanta. We do have some light rainfall pushing over portions of the south side of Atlanta. A lot of this isn't making it to the ground, though. There's some drier air in place, and I just don't expect much in the way of rainfall this morning, nor do I expect much in the way of rainfall as we head through the rest of this weekend and on to the beginning of next week. High pressure is firmly in control out here, leading to some really nice conditions, but it is giving us this southerly wind and helping to pull in the humidity. You'll feel that as soon as you step outside. Temperatures at the moment are in the 50s and the 60s. A little muggy, though, because of that added humidity. Once we get later on into the afternoon, those 60s, which is typically what we see for afternoon highs this time of the year, by the afternoon we'll actually be in the low to mid 70s, 15 degrees above average. Partly cloudy, a little bit of sunshine, no rainfall in the forecast for us later this afternoon. This is just purely a temperature forecast. Temperatures will be in the mid 70s this afternoon. In fact, Dalton could be pushing about 80 degrees. I think you'll top out around 77 to 78. We do cool off overnight, but still well above average for us. And then we just cut and paste the same forecast for Sunday and Monday and pretty much on into Tuesday too. Again, you may see a sprinkle or two down towards Thomaston, but the rest of us will be high and dry today because there's just so much drier air in place. We will see a little bit of cloud cover though, so don't be surprised if it looks like it wants to rain at times. Tomorrow, again, a lot of sunshine, a little breezy though. On that breeze, the humidity will come rolling in. Once again, temperatures in the mid 70s. I showed you Tropical Depression Eta just a little while ago. It's encroaching on Cuba. You can see it here, a very healthy storm. And notice that the spaghetti models are in really good agreement of bringing it in the vicinity of South Florida and then taking it into the Big Bend of Florida later on next week. On this track, we are going to get a little bit of, we'll see, Eta is going to work with another weather maker over here. The two are going to work in concert to pull the moisture off of Eta, and that could lead to some added rainfall for us come mid to late next week. Let me summarize here for you with the 7-day forecast. This weekend, an 8 and 9 on the wazometer, looking great. Monday looks great too. Then Tuesday is the day of transition for us, where we start to see some rainfall creep back into the area. Veterans Day on into the end of next week. That's where we have our weather makers working together, and that will lead to showers and possibly some thunderstorms for the later half of next week. Back to you.
All right, Tyler, thank you. In this morning's Hero Central, Halloween may have been a week ago. Feels so much longer, though, doesn't it? But this next story is one that a family won't soon forget. When an Atlanta family put up a sign explaining why they were not passing out candy for Halloween, they received an unexpected response. The sign in the Thomas family's front yard read, "Sorry, no candy, child with cancer." They saw children stopping at the sign throughout the night, and when they finally went out, they saw why. Mom says pictures don't do it justice, but there were piles of candy the kids left for the cancer warrior inside, giving up their own candy. That's beautiful. All right, 9:22 on your Saturday. We'll take a break from politics for a minute to talk about some Team 1-1 high school football. We have highlights from a few big games next.
Team 1-1, we have a couple of quick high school football games for you this morning. Playoff spots and regions on the line Friday night. Can they be clinched? We're going to begin with South Forsyth and Denmark from our friends at Born to Compete.
You gonna make your name today. You understand? Yes, sir. You clap. You clap. How you feel? How you feel? Yeah.
Denmark starting through the air, shotgun formation, the deep pass here, and it is intercepted. The pick by Joshua Nelson. He nearly breaks free, but is taken down. South Forsyth now. Kyle Durham is the quarterback, and he is operating tall out of the shotgun. Looks near side, on the run, being chased, firing to Mitch Thompson. He walks it in for the touchdown. Denmark now trying again. Aaron McLaughlin finding the T-man, Teddy Davenport. And this is a combination that is good enough here for a touchdown. Number 11 going up top, down the middle. Well done. Caught by number 1. A lot of ones there. 11-1. And then it's South Forsyth taking to try to get ahead. They throw it up, and they're picked off by Treston Jordan. And he is brought down. McLaughlin calling his own number here. Shotgun again, nearly gets to the end zone, but he is pushed out. Denmark would score to finish the drive, and they win by a couple of touchdowns, 36-22. They take control of the region, and they are on the path to the playoffs. Perhaps no race closer than Region 6 4A. Marist and Stevenson both were undefeated. Marist looking for its first region title since 2017. Stevenson, the reigning champs. Here's Alex Glaze with our Game of the Week.
Alex Glaze at Marist for our Team 1-1 Game of the Week. The undefeated War Eagles hosting undefeated Stevenson. A lot on the line tonight. Highlights tough to come by early on in this one. Marist up 6-0 in the second quarter. Cedric Hill trying to make something happen in the first half, but gets picked off by Wright Formasato. Marist takes over at their own 40. Lincoln Parker, next offensive play, breaks a tackle, delivers a stiff arm, then turns on the Jets for a touchdown. 13-0 was the score at halftime. Second half, Mr. Parker wasn't done. He makes another big play for the War Eagles, a 33-yard touchdown to make this a 3-score game, 23-0 the final.
Well, this is a huge win. We've had this game circled for a long time. We knew Stevens was going to be a good ball club, and they're well coached, and they play hard, and they're physical. Hopefully this sets us up for an opportunity to win a region championship and have some home field advantage, but we still got 2 ball games to go.
Like Coach Chadwick said, this game was really big. Marist looking to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs with 2 games left in the regular season. They will host Miller Grove next week.
Mr. Glaze, thank you. That's all the time we have. More highlights, Harrison, Marietta, Westminster, and a lot more over on 11alive.com. Have a great weekend.
Live from Atlanta, 11 Alive Weekend Morning starts now.
Joe Biden on the cusp of the presidency. We now have a razor-thin contest here in Georgia. Still too close to call as critical battleground state ballots are still being counted, including here in Georgia. Good morning, I'm Christy Diaz.
And I'm Sheba Russell. If you are just waking up, Georgia is still blue on this Saturday morning. New numbers updated overnight showing Joe Biden expanding his lead over President Trump. At this time yesterday, Biden was ahead by over 1,000.
And his lead has only expanded as we went through the early morning and overnight hours. Let's get a look at the results for the presidency here in Georgia. You can see percentage-wise, Joe Biden is ahead. Let's look at how he's doing here specifically in the state of Georgia. Overnight, Fulton County counted about 5,000 more votes, and it pushed Joe Biden's lead to about 7,000 votes. Let's take a look here at the big board. So right now, Fulton County, we know overnight, it was one of the largest single outstanding ballot counts that we've been waiting on. They came in and counted about 5,100 votes. That pushes Joe Biden's lead here in Georgia to 7,248 votes. And that's where it has stayed for the morning. Now, we are watching things happen in real time. So a lot of you are asking, how many do we have left to count? That's a good question, and it's really hard to know, but this is a good representation of how you can know we're getting close. These orange counties show which counties have certified their results. That means they are done counting. Those ballot counts and vote totals are final. They have certified them. So the more orange you see on this map, the closer we are getting to final numbers. And in the last hour since we've been on the air, let's take a look. I'll even show you exactly which counties. We know Muskogee right here, which is a more Democratic leaning county. They have certified. And right down here, Baker County, which is a more Republican leaning county. They have also certified their results. So the counties are up and awake this morning and already getting to work, Sheba.
So these are smaller counties that have certified so far. We're still waiting for the big ones like Gwinnett and Fulton. What about DeKalb?
Yes. So let's take a look at this map. So here in the metro, you've got Fulton right here, Gwinnett, DeKalb. Those are still green. That means they have not certified their results yet. We saw overnight as Fulton had counted about 5,000 more votes. They're not certifying. They probably still have a few more to do today. We'll have a lot of eyes on Gwinnett. They had a technical glitch last night, so they're getting started counting at 9 o'clock this morning. That's where we're expecting most of the vote totals to come in today. They're hoping, all of these counties are hoping to certify by Monday, but a lot of them will work throughout the weekend hoping to get it done sooner.
And that's still ahead of schedule because the deadline to certify those counties' votes is on Friday, next Friday.
The 20th, I believe, 13th, 20th.
That's the state.
Like what day is it?
I know.
What day is it, right? But yeah, they're working really hard to get this done throughout the weekend. Mm-hmm. And the Secretary of State has told 11 Alive that the state will likely head to a recount because of this razor-thin margin between former Vice President Joe Biden and President Trump. But right now, his office says there is no evidence of widespread irregularities. So let's head to Fulton County, where Mara Sirianni is live at the state capitol with the latest.
Christy, Sheba, you are correct on that. The deadline to certify all of these votes by the counties would be next Friday. That's the 13th. And they have to do that before the state can head into a recount, which the Secretary of State's office has said will likely be the case. And so state elections officials have also talked about conducting an audit, a risk limiting audit. You've likely heard that been talked about if you've been listening to their press conferences. So that audit under a new state law before certifying the presidential election winner would find an anomalies from misconfigured machines, procedural errors, and even intentional manipulation. Top Republican officials were in Atlanta yesterday. They threatened legal action in Georgia, citing, quote, too many irregularities in the way that we've been counting our ballots. So state officials said this audit will take a significant sample of ballots and examine them by hand to observe whether the declared winner is the actual winner.
We're going to go through our legal processes, which means we have to certify. And I do anticipate that there could potentially be lawsuits from both the Biden campaign and the Trump campaign, depending on where they are and what they're looking at, that a judge could order the counties or the state to do different specific things.
And we aren't the only state that a recount could be expected in. We've also heard that it could be expected in Wisconsin. President Trump was pushing for that. So again, let the legal battle begin. At least here in Georgia, the Secretary of State's office is expecting litigation on both sides.
Yeah, we will likely go through the ballots here in Georgia again, no matter what. Thanks, Mara.
Let's take you to Gwinnett County right now, where election workers, they were supposed to continue working into the early morning hours, but another technical glitch halted the process. Paula Soro continues our team coverage. She's inside the election office in Lawrenceville for us this morning. So, Paula, how many votes do they have left, and when do they expect to finish? Any updates?
Yep, we've got a few updates. So they still have about more than 1,500 votes or so that they have to count here, and they're really doing a lot of the work behind me, and so that's why we moved inside so that you guys can kind of take a look at what's going on here today. So those pink booklets that you're seeing, those are provisional ballots that they're sorting right now by precinct. So this has to be done so that they're then able to meet with the Board of Election. But you know, election officials, they hope to have more results published on the Secretary of State's website last night, but the computer glitch. So as to whether or not they've fixed that configuration issue with the computer, I'm told we probably won't know until they push more ballots through. But this is the focus today, researching, examining provisional ballots. After that, the election board will get to meet and decide which ones can be fixed and counted and which ones won't be included. That meeting originally scheduled for Monday, but they're trying to move that up to today to speed up the process because of really how close this race is. They have people staffed here to try and get all of this done as fast as possible. So really what's left, I'm told about 1,500 more votes. Those include cured ballots, more military and overseas ballots, and provisional ballots that are being researched. So we spoke to a paper ballot processing monitor yesterday.
We have volunteers staffed through tomorrow, and I think even just in case the weekend. So however long it takes, we have people who are eager to oversee and help be a part of that process.
But again, this work with the provisional ballots has to be finished in order for the Board of Elections to then meet. And once they're able to meet, they're able to accept or reject those provisional ballots. And that's when we hopefully will see more numbers coming in from Gwinnett County. So we'll send it back to you guys.
Paula, you were there yesterday, and again, you're there this morning. How would you say the staffing levels compare to yesterday, compared to today?
So I would say there was a lot more going on yesterday, so the staffing level was probably higher just because they were dealing with pushing those numbers through to the Secretary of State's website. So we had some people in one room, then we had the adjudication going on in a separate room, and we still had this room behind me was also pretty packed yesterday. So I would say fewer people, but it is also the start of the day, so we'll see how staffing levels change throughout today.
Yeah, workers getting back to work there at the election headquarters in Gwinnett just about 40 minutes ago or so. Paula Soro, thank you so much.
And looking ahead to the races headed to a runoff, there are some key dates you need to know. The cutoff to register to vote in the federal election runoff is December 7th. You can request your absentee ballot starting on November 18th, and early in-person voting begins December 14th. Both U.S. Senate races are on the ballot. The race between Republican incumbent Kelly Loeffler and Democrat Raphael Warnock. The second race headed to a runoff too between incumbent Senator David Perdue and Jon Ossoff. Pretty historic here to have two Senate races head to a runoff. There will also be a runoff on December 1st for local, state, and special elections, but it is too late to register for that one. A big race that day will be the runoff to fill the remainder of the late Congressman John Lewis's term that ends on January 3rd. Also heading to a runoff, State Senate District 39. Nikema Williams won the primary, but then dropped out to run to replace Congressman John Lewis in his U.S. House race. She has been declared the winner of that seat. And in those runoff races, there may be some fresh new voters. That is because teenagers may soon be eligible to vote. Teens can register to vote at 17 and a half years old. If they turn 18 by January 5th, even on January 5th, they will be able to cast their first vote in the January 5th runoff. If they wish to do that, they must register to vote by December 7th. That is the deadline.
9:40 right now on a Saturday morning. We are just getting some new details in on this breaking news out of Gwinnett County. This is a live look here. Police investigating an officer-involved shooting. This is Lilburn, right along Bent Willow Drive. and it involves the county's SWAT team. The GBI just tweeting out that they are investigating, as is protocol with police-involved shootings. We are still waiting to learn more information on exactly what happened here, the status of the suspect. As soon as we learn more information, we'll bring it to you both on air and online. His party was Democrat, his legacy voting rights, and it was votes from the late Congressman John Lewis's 5th district that had Georgia trending blue. Reaction from his district straight ahead.
Welcome back. It is 9:44 on your Saturday. A key district that helped turn Georgia blue is the one that civil rights leader John Lewis represented for more than 3 decades. Before his death, Congressman Lewis endorsed Joe Biden, and he also left behind a letter with a powerful message about creating change through your right to vote.
Voting and participating in the democratic process are key. The vote is the most powerful, nonviolent change agent you can have in a democratic society. You must use it because it is not guaranteed. You can lose it.
Though I may not be here with you, I urge you to answer the highest calling of your heart and stand up for what you truly believe.
And if you hadn't read it yet, I encourage you to read that full letter. Today, many are acknowledging the late Atlantan and American icon and his imprint on this election. Here's 11 Live's Matt Pearl with this story.
He is not here, but his shadow remains.
I've always admired everything he stood for. He was amazing at what he did.
Fresh flowers adorn his portrait. His face, his quotes shine across Georgia's 5th district. John Lewis's district.
He never stopped. He had this idea of like, this is how it should be, this is how I think it should, should operate, and he just kept going.
2020 was the year Lewis stopped going. The civil rights icon and longtime congressman passed away this summer. But this week, his district, portions of Fulton, DeKalb, and Clayton counties, helped put Joe Biden in the lead in this suddenly pivotal state.
My husband had his phone on and he said Georgia is becoming blue.
I wish he got an opportunity to see it come to pass this way, but this is our way to honor him.
It's not just that Georgia has flipped for now. It's how many Georgians voted, nearly 5 million so far, by mail and in person, through early voting and on Election Day. In Lewis's district, his words all fall reminded so many of his legacy.
Not just the outcome, that it flipped blue, just that so many people got out and voted.
John Lewis had already done everything that he could have done for this country. So it was time for John Lewis to take his rest.
On social media since the middle of the night, the icon at rest continues to appear. It's nothing new for a man whose shadow shines far on a day where so much feels new in Georgia.
Getting in good trouble, doing things the right way, and making your voice heard. As a state, our voice is being heard now.
An iconic man from District 5. Coming up, Tropical Depression Eta tracks a deadly path through Central America. We'll show you how people are faring in the aftermath of the storm. At least 100 people are dead and thousands have been evacuated after Tropical Depression Eta slammed into Central America. The deadly storm slammed into homes, blowing away metal roofs and knocking down trees and power lines. The storm bringing devastating landslides into the region, which continues to get heavy rainfall and should through Tuesday morning.
Good morning, everyone. We are taking a look right now at the temperatures, where temperatures are nice and warm in the 50s and the 60s. Here's the thing, though. I may or may not have said a little while ago that I doubt very seriously that a lot of this rainfall is making it to the ground. Well, urgent news. I was wrong, as you can see here over downtown Newnan. You got a little bit of rainfall actually making it to the ground here, making for a soggy start to the day on the camera here on radar down in Newnan. Most of us, though, nice and dry, and by the time we get to noon, hey, we're looking really nice across the entire viewing area. We're going to see a mixture of sun and clouds, dry conditions, and temperatures well above average, as I've been saying all morning long, about 15 degrees above average. In fact, 72 degrees for a high in Atlanta. Around the rest of the region, I think we'll be hovering around 75. Some of us could actually get up to near 80 degrees. We'll give it a 9 on the wazometer. Again, that rainfall that we're seeing right now is going to quickly dart out here. We're going to see dry conditions. Partly cloudy skies later on today and looking fantastic. As I said, some of us could be approaching 80 degrees. Dalton, that could be you. I think you'll top out around 77, 78 degrees later on today. Metro Atlanta will be around 74 degrees and then a little warmer as you start heading to the south side of Atlanta. We then see the temperatures cool down overnight, but still well above average for us. And we're just going to cut and paste the same forecast for the coming days. Here's a look at what the radar may look like over the next couple of hours. You can see that rainfall just quickly moving out, and then drier air rolls in, and we are looking great for the rest of the day. Tomorrow, same forecast, same exact high, partly cloudy skies, a little breezy at times. We were mentioning tropical depression Ada. Ada is now back in the Caribbean, and it's re-strengthening. It's got its eyes set on Cuba. It's going to make landfall in Cuba within the next 12 hours, and then it brushes up against South Florida, where they are under tropical storm watches at the moment, and will drop about a foot of rainfall for them in some areas. As it pushes into the Gulf of Mexico, it curves back towards the Panhandle of the Big Bend, and that means it's going to work in concert with another weather maker that's approaching us, and that could help give us some moisture come the end of next week. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. Overall, this weekend looking great. Monday looking great. Tuesday is kind of the day of transition where we start to see rainfall return to the area. Then Veterans Day and the latter half of next week, we could see showers and thunderstorms each day. Back to you.
Welcome back. Pretty safe to say it has been a stressful week for most of us. So why not take the day, go out, get some fresh air. It should be a beautiful one. And if you do, consider taking this guy along with you. Meet Hudson. He is our pet of the week.
Meet Hudson. Hudson is a sweet boy who loves people and affection. This guy is full of energy and he loves playing with toys. Hudson is eager to find his forever home. He gets along well with other dogs and would be a great match with someone who can play and spend time with him. Hudson is a little skittish about going outside, so he's looking for someone who can help him appreciate the outdoors. This cutie is so sweet, happy, and fun, and Hudson is available for adoption.
Aw, Hudson! So adorable. We're staying on top of Decision 2020 for you, all the results as they come in. And you can look for more of our coverage of the 2020 election online at 11alive.com. And that's where you'll find real-time results. So 22% of the state's counties are done counting. Joe Biden's lead over President Trump widening by more than 7,000 votes overnight. Georgia is still blue.
Back to red after we continued getting more votes in. Counties will be working through the weekend to try and finish counting and certifying these results until Monday. A lot of our eyes will be on Gwinnett. We expect a good vote total from Gwinnett. We had a lot coming from Fulton overnight. If you'd like moment by moment updates, I will be live tweeting all of the numbers. We have a numbers team working around the clock to make sure that we have all of the accurate numbers. So stay with us. And we'll be back this afternoon at 6 o'clock.